Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Before I start my talk, just one small thing I wanted to sort of add when Arooj basically told everyone about Khayyam. I'm really amazed by his journey. Khayyam was the one, where's Khayyam? Okay, yeah. So Khayyam used to come to create a morning Islamabad, and he was not a volunteer at that time, and he used to come at 9 a.m. and just help me out setting up everything. Although he didn't have to do all of that, but so yeah, thank you so much, Khayyam, for doing all of that, and I've seen your journey, and yeah, congratulations for being the co-host for Islamabad. Yeah, so just a big disclaimer here that I'm not an expert to sort of talk about this subject. I'm here because of two reasons. Number one is Arooj. She's basically the one who convinced me to do this. I think she believes in me more than I trust myself. And I think the second reason for being here today is because, again, we already spoke about it throughout the event. It's a special, very special event for Creator Morning Islamabad. We got to choose the theme for July, which is trust, and Ibrahim illustrated it as well. And it was so nice to basically just see chapters all over the world sharing it on their social media channels and tagging Creator Morning Islamabad, because it was truly like putting Islamabad on the world map. And I think I just mentioned that in my application video as well, the last thing that I said in that video, because it always excited me that in that map, and where you see there's a thing happening all over the world, and you see Islamabad on the map. So I'm here just to celebrate this milestone with all of you, and just cherish what we were sort of able to build in the past years. Coming back to the topic, Arooj asked me to describe trust in one word. She asked me to, sorry Arooj for not sharing a video with you, but I just recorded one. Yeah, so trust for me is basically repetition. So it's basically being consistent. Sorry, one more sort of disclaimer here. I was just thinking Ibrahim's sort of perspective on trust was it was very broad and exploratory. But I'm going to be talking about more from professional perspective, your professional growth and success, not from specifically personal point of view or psychological point of view. So yeah, so trust is basically, it's about being consistent and doing something over and over again to build a specific image in a specific mental image. It is the same image that helps people perceive you in a certain way. It's that image that helps them predict and expect the behavior, certain kind of behavior from you. It's a lifestyle. It's a character that you build, and then you have to do it every day of your life to sort of maintain that character. That's why it's a continuous iterative process, and it's a process that is dynamic. And it is, sorry, I don't know what's happening with the clicker. Arooj, can you please help? Yeah, so it's a process that is dynamic, that is difficult, and it's complex. And it's a basically an accumulation of all the attributes that you have to do to come across as a trustworthy person. It's the same way how these companies build these iconic brands. You can perceive Apple as a very high quality innovative tech brand. It's because they were able to produce high quality products over and over again to build that reputation and that credibility in the market. And it's the same with other iconic brands as well. So trust is basically that you establish credibility by doing these right things over and over again. When I moved to Islamabad, it was obviously a new city for me. I didn't have any connection. I didn't know any people here. It was hard to navigate. Obviously, it's hard to navigate through a new city as well. My daughter at that time was 6 months old, and I didn't have the proper family support here, and I didn't have the option to go for a full-time 9-to-5 job. So I wanted to obviously start my freelance career. But yeah, to do that, in order to do that, I knew that I have to, go out and build connections and meet people. I started doing that. Kuch Khas was very active at that time. I started going to their events and met people and build connections, and eventually I started getting some work. But at that time, I also had to do a lot of free work as well, because I wanted to, show them what I'm capable of, what I can bring to the table, what value I can add, what kind of work do I do, what work ethics do I have. So I did a lot of free work as well at that time, and eventually, when I was able to build that reputation, that credibility, I started obviously getting paid projects as well. So yes, no, can you go back? So yes, credibility is basically when you do it, you establish your credibility and you do it over and over again, you will end up getting more opportunities. Throughout my freelance career, most of the work that I got was through referrals. And when I look back in the hindsight now, especially when I was working on this talk, I realized that I was able to build some really open and honest relationships with my clients, and it was just not based on the competence or the kind of work that I was doing. It was all of the other things, commitment, reliability, consistency, communication. All of these basically combined in combination helped me establish that credibility. And then that's how one person referred to another, and that's how it all grew. But yeah, the big question is how to build that trust, how to build that credibility, how to establish that reputation in the community. Before I jump into that, I just want to quickly, let's take a look at some of the stats. So this is this research carried out by Paul J. Zak, where he basically he said that people who work in a trusting organizations or who work with people who trust each other, they are less stressed out. There's less burnout. They are more engaged at work. They feel more energetic, and they take fewer sick leaves. And there's higher level of productivity as well. And it's a very interesting study. If you want to hear more about it, learn more about it, you can go online. It's published on Harvard Business Review. You can easily find it online, and it talks about this hormone oxytocin and the role of oxytocin on happiness and trust. So yeah, coming back to how to you sort of build that trust with your teammates, with your colleagues, with your manager, with your clients, all of that stuff. And then I will be talking, as I mentioned before, I will be talking more in terms of professional growth and success, but this applies to, I think, personal relationships as well, because these are all generic things and very, very basic things that we need to do. Can you go back? So number one, keep your promises. I think it's a no-brainer, right? We all know that but this is so basic that it gets lost sometime, and people usually they don't care about these stuff. You see it all the time in your daily lives. People not honoring their commitments and not fulfilling their promises. So whether it's a client deadline, if it's a project that's assigned to you, make sure that you're just meeting that commitment. When I was doing freelancing, I think that's why this is the first point here. When I was doing freelancing, if I have communicated a deadline to a client, if I have committed something, whether I have to work throughout the night, or I have to work 72 hours with taking very small breaks, or whatever I have to do to meet that deadline, I would make sure that I'm not missing that. Obviously, it requires a lot of hard work as well. But obviously, we all understand, we are all humans, life happens, there will be unforeseen situations, and there will be times where you won't be able to meet that deadline, or you won't be able to, honor your commitment. In that case, be you be open, communicate it to your client, your boss, your manager, like keep them updated about the progress, and you will earn their respect, right? Because you are being respectful of their time as well. So yeah, I think it's a one of the very basic and important things, and we see it sort of all the time. And then so the second thing is accept mistakes and apologize. I think, surprise, surprise, we are all humans and we make mistakes. Again, very basic thing. And I would like to add one thing here: accept mistakes and apologize and forgive as well. Let me give you some situational sort of examples. Let's say you're working, you worked on a project, it got approved, you made it live, and later on you figure out that there was there was some error in that project, there was a typo or something like that. You are collaborating. It's fine. You and your colleague are working on something. You shared some information, and your colleague shared it in a meeting, and it turned out that your colleague got into trouble because that information was not correct. Or you're having a very bad day, or you are in a very stressful situation, and you acted very abruptly. You acted rudely with someone because you were stressed out. In all of these and similar situations, just take some time, relax, understand the situation, and make that effort to go and accept the mistake and apologize to the person. I think it was in ND2C when we're doing it, I think 2018 or 19. And I think there were two volunteers, two girls who were handling the SMD screen there. And ND2C is a very hectic, chaotic sort of, it's a very big initiative. Obviously there's a lot of stress, a lot of going on in those 2 days of the conference. And there were these two girls who were volunteering handling the SMD screen. They were responsible of making sure that all the slides are running properly, and everything is managed there, managed very well there. And we were already having some technical issues there with the screen, and then I don't know what happened. I still don't remember. I was so stressed out, but I don't know, something happened, and I think the order of the screens got slides got reversed or something. And I remember at that time, I think I reacted very abruptly, and I was like very infuriated. And I don't know what I said. I really don't remember that, but I think I told them to go, like, leave that space, and I'll do it myself. That happened. The conference was over. Everything was done. Obviously, that was bothering me as well. And then later on, I sent a message to that girl, apologizing for my behavior, that I shouldn't have done that. But thank you to that person for actually sort of forgiving me, and for sort of not holding any grudge against me, because that had laid the foundation of a very strong relationship that I have with her right now. And by the way, that person is in this room right now. So I think it goes a long way. Just accept your mistakes, apologize, and yeah, it will build a very trustful relationship with your colleagues and teammates. By the way, disclaimer: I'm glad my husband is not here. Otherwise, because according to him, I haven't apologized once in 20 years for married life. So, but I think that's fine, right? Because गलती तो husbands की होती है ना हमेशा. Okay, so yeah, उसको इससे ना मिलाइएगा. But that's different. Okay, ठीक है. Okay, be empathetic. I think I don't have too much to share here, but I will share a very strong sort of example here. What I just told you about this girl who sort of forgave me. So the message she sent me was, no, I understand that you were in a very stressful situation. I understand it's a very huge initiative. It's totally fine. What was she doing? She was being empathetic. She was trying to put herself into my shoes, She was trying to see the situation from my perspective, and she was trying to understand my sort of situation at that time. If she wasn't being, and that's why she was able to forgive me. Otherwise, you know, if she would have done that, and I think it's very hard, right? It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of bravery to do that, to forgive someone when you know that, you know, ये सामने वाले ने मेरे साथ कुछ गलत किया है, or he behaved very rudely. So it was very courageous, very brave of her to do that. Again, a very, very basic trait, very important sort of value that we need to sort of follow in our daily lives, where, you know, just listen to what other person is saying, and not just listen, try to understand where they're coming from, what do they feel, what do they trying to say, because that sets the foundation for a very collaborative environment. Because ab har time you can't be right? So you have to listen to or give room to other person, and give them the benefit of the doubt as well. I think, again, very basic but very important, because and it's not like अच्छा आपने किसी से बहुत कोई बड़ा झूठ बोल दिया और किसी को बहुत ही बड़ा कोई धोखा दे दिया, but you see it every day in your life, right? कि छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में people are making excuses and telling lies, and as a manager, as someone who is like leading teams now, let me tell you that, you know, manager or your boss, they do understand, they do get it, that, you know, if someone is coming from a genuine place, or, you know, if someone is sort of lying or making excuses. So I think an open and honest sort of communication is really, really important to build a very trusting relationship, because when you lie, there's a, you know, you create a relationship of mistrust. Next time when, you know, there's an opportunity or there's a project, your manager is not going to, you know, think of you for that particular opportunity. Be vulnerable and helpful. So being vulnerable basically means to just say that, you know, oh yeah, I don't know this. This is not my, you know, level of expertise. And when you do that, you basically create room for opportunities and learning and growth. I think, sorry, I'm so I don't know. Right now, I can't even take something out because I'm just saying everything randomly. But yeah, just accepting that, you know, you don't know anything. You basically create opportunities for more learning and growth. But what's the other side? And yeah, just one more thing here. Let's say your manager wants you to, you know, work on a project. He wants to assign you something, and that's not your expertise. Again, that's not what you're good at. Be open and just go to him or her and tell her that, you know, this is something that, you know, you're not comfortable doing, or that's not your expertise, because that's going to be appreciated for two reasons. Number one, your manager will help you with more learning, and the second thing is it will help him or her to scope out the project properly, to, you know, to predict the project success and outcomes. And the other side of this is being helpful, right? When someone is being vulnerable, when someone is saying that, you know, I don't know anything, you offer help. You offer them the opportunity to learn and grow. Yeah, I think I'm just sorry, I'm just lost here. I think that's fine. You can go there. Yeah, sorry, I'm forgetting a very important thing here. Yeah, so with helping someone, I think it comes from a place of caring, right? It requires a lot of generosity as well, because when you help someone, you might have to stay late at work to help your colleague out, or you might have to put your project at stake sometimes to help someone out. But when you do that, you build a very honest and, you know, very cozy, warm relationships with your colleagues. So again, a very important trait to build that trust and build that environment in your workplace. Give credits where it's due. I think this is very important. How many of you have faced this before in your workplace where you worked on a project and then you were like, यार सारा credit तो वो ले गया. बहुत सारे लोग हैं. Yeah, so आप खुद सोचेंगे, when this happens, what happens? क्या आप कभी भी उस इंसान के साथ will you be able to establish any good healthy relationship with that person? Obviously no. So yeah, and then it doesn't have to be something like really big. It could be like, let's say you and your colleague are, working on a project, you are discussing an idea, and you come up with something. And then you both of you, felt excited about it. You agreed to share it with the leadership. You went into a meeting, and in the meeting, your colleague is basically presenting the ideas, and he or she says that, yeah, we were doing brainstorming, and we came up with this idea. Which is fine, which is good, right? We is a good word. It represents collaboration, teamwork. But what if that person has said that, yeah, we were working on this and we were discussing this, and this X person came up with an idea, and we both felt that, it's a good way of doing it. So there's a different way of saying it where you are giving credit to that person, that, that person, and it's a very small thing. It's a small gesture. Obviously, it happens on a very bigger level in different organizations. But yeah, just doing that helps you in building a very strong relationships with your colleagues, with your in your workplace, and build a very healthy, positive environment in your workspace. Integrity. I know I'm missing out a lot of things here, but I think it's fine. Integrity, I think this basically sums up everything what I just said. It's one of the traits that I personally truly believe in and try to follow and practice as well. And there are multiple definitions of integrity available, but the one that I like and try to follow is basically integrity is something that you do when no one is watching. Integrity is something that you do when no one is watching. And I think this is very, very important, especially in remote environments recently, everywhere, but in remote environments currently. After COVID, a lot of companies have gone remote, and it's easier to sort of, cheat, lie, or deceive. But yeah, it's important that you do the right thing when no one is watching. And this is, and again, as I mentioned, this sums up everything, because it's also about honesty. It's also about not lying. So can you see, like, all of the things that I mentioned, obviously all of those are connected, and they are connected because they're part of your values, your personality, what you do in your day-to-day life. So yeah, just remember, yeah, doing right thing always. And yeah, just as I mentioned before, trust is hard work and hard earned. Obviously, all of the things that I mentioned, they seem very basic. They seem very normal things that we do in our life, or lying, cheating, helping. But I think they go a long way, and they are really, really important. And it requires a lot of hard work. As well, just as I mentioned before, keeping your promises, accepting your mistake. It requires a lot of bravery, a lot of courage, a lot of generosity. So it's not really easy to sort of establish that, but and then once you in fact establish it, you have to, as I mentioned, you have to do it throughout your life to sort of maintain it and build that sort of credibility and reputation. So yeah, just as I mentioned, trust leads to opportunities, and once you are able to establish a very strong relationship with your clients, manager, whatever, colleagues, the opportunities get multiplied because that person has started to rely on you. So next time, whenever there's an exciting project, there's a new opportunity, your manager, your client, your boss is going to think of you because you were able to build that trust with him or her. And he is going to think of you whenever there's a promotion, there's a bonus, or there's a raise. So yeah, everything links to your professional success and growth eventually. So yeah, this is all for today. Thank you so much, everyone. I know I sort of right.